Hello, my fellow adventurers! This is Mloentje, and welcome back to Throne and Liberty. Guys, there was a baseball cap in the store. I had to buy it. Oh, it looks so freaking cool. Guys, it's that time of the year. There is new gear. Let's go take a look at the updated Questlog and everything that they have for us. All weapons, all armor sets, all accessories. Let's go take a look. Yeah, Questlog adjusted, guys, so now I can finally mix match my builds again. And as we can see here, we've got Gauntless vessels, so the legendaries, guys, they got an item level 75 and it is a fixed level. So if they drop, they're always going to be level 75, right? Getting the max amount of stats. So once you go into the game, I presume that it is going to be changed. For the other weapons, though, we can see that Treacherous Stone here goes from 21 to 50. But then if we look at other ones or other weapons, we can see the new weapons go from 51 to 80. And same with the armor, guys. So we don't have any different tiers anymore. It's basically the item that drops has a min and max item level that it can have. So the tier we're in right now, which was tier 3, basically had item levels 21 to 50. So yeah, tiers is gone. It's only item levels now, which is pretty interesting. And then yeah, you can see here the new gear that drops 51 to 80, guys, giving more stats. It's gonna have more stats than your tier 3. Now some weapon combinations might, like the perk sets, might still be like better in slot just because they give a massive amount of boost. It depends on the gear that is. But there's going to be a lot of people testing that and mix matching what eventually becomes BIS, right? So let's see in the actual armor, guys. What do we get? So we got a Azure Sky Apostle helmet. Set effect Azure Sky. So it's a 4-piece, max health plus 2000 and damage reduction plus 35. And then skill damage resist plus 100 has a 7% chance on hits to increase all CC resist by 240 for 6 seconds. Cooldown 20 seconds. So every 14 seconds, you basically get a 6 seconds uptime on more CC resists. Max health is interesting. Damage reduction 35. Does not look that awesome. Honestly, the CC resist is pretty cool. What do we got? Blizzard Overture helmet. Magic melee ranged endurance plus 100. Magic melee ranged heavy attack evasion plus 100. Melee damage boost plus 3%. So you're getting melee damage boost, and you're getting endurance and evasion. And then skill cooldown speed 10% when a mobility skill is used. Attack speed plus 10% and heavy attack damage plus 14% for 3 seconds. So yeah, the classes with a lot of mobility in it definitely can. Whenever a mobility skill is used, there's no cooldown on it. So if you have like mobility skill, you have like 2 or 3, then you can chain in like 9 seconds of extra damage and attack and 10% attack speed. That's actually pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Brand of the Ashen Oath hat. We got only a 2 sets. Critical damage plus 15. PvP ranged critical hit chance plus 30 per 10 dexterity. Range critical hit chance 30 plus 10 dexterity. So if you go 90 dexterity, because you can't go 100 stats as far as I understand. Yeah, in Questlog you can go to 100, but I don't think you can go to 100 in game. So where were we, guys? Dexterity. So that's basically 9 times 30. PvP range critical hits. That's 210. Okay. Yeah, not really sure. Range PvP critical hit chance. Like, it's a specific perk, right? There might be armors that negates specific critical hits. If they work in something like that, then it might benefit. Let's see. Dawn of the Black, critical damage 15. PvP melee critical hit chance per fortitudes. We got a shield set here. Shield health plus 20%. Skill healing plus 20%. Skill cooldown speed plus 10% when shield skill is applied. Restores target's health by 106% of the base damage plus 600. So when you apply a shield to heal by 160% of the base damage plus 600. And basically you get shield health, skill healing, and skill cooldown speed. Melee heavy attack evasion, mana cost efficiency, max health, strength. Okay, the Frigid Melody hat, guys. That's gonna be Frigid Melody set is gonna be the shield set. Yeah, definitely one I will be looking into, of course. We got the Frost Lords, Black Skills. They don't have any. The Illusion of 9 Lives helmets. Critical damage resistance plus 10%. Heavy attack damage resistance plus 12%. Magic melee and ranged critical hit chance plus 100. So you get damage resistance, critical damage resistance, heavy attack damage resistance, and 100 critical hits. And then critical damage plus 20% on hit has a 100% chance to increase critical damage by 20% for 6 seconds. Cooldown 15 seconds. So every 9 seconds, you get 20% more critical damage on top of the critical 20% critical damage. So every 12 seconds, you got 40% critical damage. Yeah, it's funny that they work in critical damage resist and heavy attack damage resist there, but then do give you like critical hit chance and critical damage. Like the that's funny. Like the set kind of says like, okay, go PvP, go resist. Then the other part of the set says go damage. It's funny gear, guys. What do we got here? Prayers of the Salvation hat. That's gonna be healing, right? Max health plus 2,200 on recovery skill use. So we get increased health or we heal. Max health plus 2,000. And does that? It doesn't say that it stacks. Else that would be recovery skill use. Damage reduction plus 35. And all debuff resistance plus 150 for 1.5 seconds. Yeah, that's not a lot. But it's every time you use. Yeah, there's no timer. So every time you use a recovery skill. And skill healing plus 20. Skill healing over time plus 20. That's an interesting one. Debuff resistance. That's actually a pretty cool one. The max health on recovery skill use. Yeah, it's not going to stack. This is going to be heal or just an increase of my health. Right? That's the question I'm kind of having. Punisher's Wing hat. Skill damage boost plus 50. Magic melee and ranged heavy attack chance plus 150. Okay, heavy attack damage plus 20% on heavy attack hit. Has a 20% chance to increase heavy attack damage by 20% for 3 seconds. So basically, if you do a lot of heavy attacks, guys, you're gonna have that up 24/7. Ranged heavy attack chance. Yeah, that's heavy attack chance on a heavy attack chance on a heavy attack chance with skill damage boost. Might be interesting. Might be interesting to look into that one. Reborn Lord's Cursed Hats. Heavy attack damage plus 20%. PvP magic. Heavy attack chance 30 plus wisdom. We got the Stigmata Executioner Hat. Attack speed 10%. Magic melee and ranged critical hit chance plus 150. Critical damage plus 20% when standing still for 4 seconds. Critical damage plus 15% removed upon moving. Yeah, okay. That's the range set. That's the range. The dexterity, perception, max health, hit chance, critical damage. Yeah, that is going to be good. Yeah, definitely, probably. Attack speed is good. Critical hit chance is good, so you can stack into other shit. Critical damage is good, and you get critical damage. You get 35% constantly. And if you then look at... Yeah, you can get a 40% constantly. So it's skill damage boost and heavy attack chance. Yeah, it's gonna be between these two. Attack speed does mean that you're gonna be able to throw more attacks, right? But there's kind of a high cap as well that you don't want to go over. If you're missing hits, this is a good one. If you just want damage, cooldown, heavy attack damage, cooldown speed on this one. Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting one to work out. And then Wrath of the Indigenous ingenuity. Oh, there's no L in there. Ingenuity, guys. Stamina regen 20, movement speed 15, materials gather rate 6%. It's a gathering set? Really? Rare materials gather rate 6%, magic melee and ranged heavy attack chance minus 1,000, magic melee and ranged critical hit chance minus 1,000. Some more stamina, movement speed, and then material gather rate. That is a funny one. That is a funny set. It's a gathering set, guys. Oh, that's cool. And then we got the Ardent Herald Crown, guys. That is level 21 to 50. So those are all of the actual armor sets that are coming into the game. So time to look at the weapons. First off, whoa, no. We got swords, guys. Ascended Dagon sword. So certain bosses, regular bosses that we have right now that are not ascended yet will become ascended. So we got Ascended Dagon here. Level item 51 to 80, of course. We've got Enraged Dagon's Storm, rolling shield damage increased by 35%, and rolling shield deflect effect increases 7 times. The shield can hit the same target multiple times after using rolling shield for 6 seconds. Upon landing a shield strike, grants 80% chance to fire a rolling shield projectile that deals 200% of the base damage. I have no idea, haven't played with Swords and Shields, guys, so just gonna gloss over it. I'm not gonna give my train of thought, because I can't. Cold-Blooded Commander Declaration Sword, that's a long title. Changes shield throw to rock shield throw, and boosts damage by 50%. Deal 270% of the base damage, and has an 80% chance to apply a weaken effect that decreases movement speed by 35% for 3 seconds. We got the Frigid Crimson Sword, Immortal Bonds, Immortal Pride specialization. 1 changes Blessing of Immortality to Immortal Bonds and increases cooldown by 30%. Grants all party members within 50-meter radius an effect that increases max health and current health up to 35%, proportional to Immortal Sprite level for 6 seconds. So you give your entire party extra health. That's cool. And additionally increases the current health by the amount of max health increased. So I'm seeing double... Yeah, I'm going to comment on this one. I'm seeing double... Grants all party members within 50 meters the effect that increases max health and current health by 35%. Proportional to the pride's level for 6 seconds. And additionally increases current health by the amount of max health is increased. So you're gonna increase the health, and then you're gonna proportionally increase the current health more. So you're gonna that is definitely interesting. Blessing of Immortal Bond increases cooldown by 30%. All party members effect that increases max health. Yeah, got that one right. So it's 2 shields with the same talent, max health, max health. But then Wisdom, Strength, Max Health, PvP Endurance, Wisdom, Strength, Max Health, Endurance. So the stats are different. So Stonegrave is Suppression. We've got increases critical damage resistance by 40%, while Counter Barrier is active. And then Dolorosa's Sword of Burning Ice. For the Great Swords, we got Ascended Pakilo Naru's Great Swords, boost Valiant Brawl, Cruel Smite, and Slash Wave damage by 25%, and booster cooldown reduction effect by 50%. We got the Azure Snow Dragon Great Sword, boost Guillotine Blade damage by 50% when used on targets with 50% health or less. That sounds pretty deadly. We got a Cold Blood Commander Judgment Greatsword, an underlying title there. When using Frost Cleaving, the area persists for 4 seconds. Apply 2 stacks of frost to the targets in the area, identical to Da Vinci's Chill and Ice Tornado. When applying frost with Da Vinci's Chill or Ice Tornado skills within the area applied, 1 additional stack boosts Ice Tornado skill damage to icebound targets by 50%. We got the Crimson Snow Annihilator Greatsword. Boosts Guillotine Blade damage when used upon targets. That is the same one as the Azure one. Yep. Dexterity, Strength, Attack Speed, PvP, Heavy Attack. These are both level 80s though. Dexterity, strength, attack speed, PvP, melee, heavy attack chance. This one has melee. So one is a PvE sword, the other one is a PvP sword. And the PvP sword has more stats. 15 dexterity, 13 strength, 14 dexterity, 13 strength. Attack speed remains the same. So if you use this sword, from what I understand, you can do damage on, like, increased damage on bosses. Like, you're not gonna have melee heavy attack chance on that boss, right? Only in PvP, if I understand it correctly. Hymn of Justice, Greatsword. When using Blood Devotion or Devoted Sanctuary, removes shield health decrease and shield health received decrease effects applied to you. Then creates a shield with health equal to 15% of the max health that ignores shield removal effects for 6 seconds. Okay, so granting a shield for... It's for yourself only, though. It's not... Devoted Sanctuary, is that remove shield health decrease? I think that's for your party, right? Devoted Barrier? I think that's for your party. That would be pretty cool if it's for your party. So the tank can give a shield to the party. That's actually pretty cool. And then Stonegraver Executioner Sword. Precision Dash can be charged up to 3 times. When the dash ends, create a 7-meter radius area that increases allied defense by 5% and decreases enemy defense by 5% for 3 seconds. Reusing it within the 3 seconds removes the effect for the target. Oh, that's cool. And then we got the Giant Cordy, guys. That is at level 70 fixed. Ascended Leviathan Daggers. Their Umbral Spirit and Thunder Spirit damage increased by 30%. Duration on melee critical hit increase by 0.2% up to 20 stacks. 2 is 4 times 10. 4 seconds. Okay. Yeah, I have no idea about this skill, so that's why this makes no sense to me. When using Shadow Strike, if your crit hit chance is less than 3000, increases critical hit chance by 700 for 3 seconds. If your critical hit chance is 3000 or higher, increases critical damage by 35% for 3 seconds. That's actually pretty cool. We got Tubman's Verdict on hit with Fatal Stigma. Boosts offhand weapon activation chance by 25% for the duration of the mark. That's a good one. And accumulated damage dealt to the mark targets up to 50,000%. And accumulated damage dealt to the mark target up to 50. Yeah, that's 50,000. When the mark ends, it explodes to deal additional damage equal to 15% of the accumulated damage. Okay, so it's less deadly than I was reading it. I was like, is it gonna do 50,000 times damage? What the... No. But still pretty cool though. When using Thundering Bomb, if the target is wet or affected by a frost stat, it deals additional damage proportional to the target's weaken. Thunderclouds stack and the same damage to the other enemies within 3 meters. Silver Frost Venom Edge Daggers. When using Shadow Strike, if your critical hit chance, yeah, that's the same one. And then we got Stone Grave Cutting Daggers. Boost Cleaving Moonlight damage by 10% on Cleaving Moonlight skill hit. If the target has weakened, Thunderclouds remove 3 stacks of the effect and call down lightning to attack the enemy and deal 400% damage. Okay, so you're gonna place the debuff, remove the debuff, and the debuff is instantly gonna hit for 1 strike instead of the multiple. That's pretty cool. And the Dillo's Piercing Daggers of Frost. For the bows, we've got the Arctic Roar Sniping Bow. Changes Brutal Arrow skill to Rock Arrow. Applies stun for 3 seconds upon 4 hits. So you're gonna need to hit 4 times before it actually applies a stun. That seems a little bit out of the way. It has a stun chance for 265% or points. We got Ascended Leviathan Bow. Zephyr's Knock shoots an additional projectile at up to 2 targets within 5 meters, dealing damage equal to 450% of the base damage. Zephyr's Knock damage also increases by 12%. We got Creative Justice Longbow, changes Nature's Blessing to Seed of the World Tree. Okay, interesting. Now they're talking my language. You can now place 3 seeds at target locations, each lasting for 10 seconds. Changes mana cost to 90 For allies that step on a seed, increases health regen by 228, which is then boosted by 12%. Okay. And increases mana regen by 294 for 4 seconds. When the effect is applied, removes 1 weaken effect, and the seed disappears after granting its effect. Seeds can be replanted within 6 seconds. Specialization 3, Whirlpool, only applies to the first placements. So Nature Blessing goes away, which gives like mana regen to everybody. And now place 3 seeds at target locations, but it means only 1 ally can run over the shield, over the seed. So only 3 allies can actually place 3 seeds, each lasting for 10 seconds. And you can reapply, seeds can be replanted within 6 seconds. So you can, if your allies are smart, they can run over the seeds in the first, like, you can place 3 seeds, right, for 10 seconds. Allies can run over it, and if the seed vanishes in the first 6 seconds of the skill, you can replant as many as you want. Or you can replant them up till that you got 3 again. But your allies are going to need to run over them, while just Nature's Blessing is just blam, everybody in range got it. It's kind of like a roundabout way to give people kind of the same buff. We'll have to see how it works in game, but interesting. We got Frost Comet Longbow. It changes Purifying Touch skill to Purifying Cry. The skill now removes debuffs from party members in front. Oh my god, yeah, that's instantly interesting. Purifying Touch now becomes an AoE skill, guys. I've been saying this for a long time. Like, we have like, well, with the Nature Blessing specialization, and then with come on. Why can I not recall it? With Nature's Blessing, you basically, with these two, you can basically have AoE, removes 1 weaken effect when it's applied to everybody. And you can specialize this one as well to remove, right? So that would mean with this one as an AoE as well, you would have 3 AoEs. These will remove weakens, but this one will remove debuffs, as far as I'm understanding it. Yeah, sorry, but I had to look into that. That's as a healer, that looked really, really interesting. 1 debuff. So it's not only the weaken, it's a debuff, like any debuff. Removes debuffs. It removes everything. It removes everything. It has a heavy mana cost, or a heavier mana cost, and there is a bigger cooldown. But with a lot of cooldown speed, you can basically cleanse everybody. Yeah, that's a bow you want. PvP endurance 410. Kind of for an endurance build then. Increases whirlpool range. Yeah, sorry guys. As a healer, that was really interesting for me. Increases whirlpool range by 2 meters and increases the duration by 3 seconds. And then we got the Delos Noah bow of Frigid Frosts. Yeah, pretty cool bow there. That's probably Frost Comet. That's probably gonna be from the Archboss, the Dragon Rider. The Dragon Knight or something. It's with a dragon and a dude that stands on top of the dragon. Frost Comet, yeah, he has ice abilities, so that's gonna be the Archboss weapon. Makes sense. Like, this is powerful. Makes sense that it's Archboss. We got the Arctic Roar, tracking a crossbow, and that comes with, it's a red skill for me. I have no idea why it's red. On hit with Wind Snatcher, has a 90% chance to remove 1 buff from the target. Applicable skills: affects Invisible Wall, Stalwart Bastion, Fortified Shell, Trance, Counter Barrier or Yielding Sentinel, Blessed Barrier, Restoring Constellation, Nature's Blessing, Da Vinci's Courage, Starving Shadow, High Focus, Selfless Diffusion, Pain Harvest, Brilliant Moonlight, Umbral Spirit, Distorted Veil, Healing Touch, and Inner Peace. That is a long list of buffs that it can remove, and it's all positive buffs. It was not like one in there that was like, oh, I won't mind having that buff. Like, holy crap, that's a heavy one. While Selfless Diffusion is active when Quickfire connects, shoots an additional project that deals 100% of the base damage and can be transferred up to 2 times to other enemies within 3 meters of range. The projectile does not activate effects on hit, but applies gale effects. Does not apply additional effects from additional projectiles. Interesting. Azure Snow Crystal Crossbow. Explosive trap can now be charged up to 2 times. The number that can be set up simultaneously increases by 1, and explosion time decreases by 1 second. So basically, more traps and they explode faster. Interesting. We got, again, the double trap. We got a Flash Justice Crossbow. Recall shot hits has 100% chance to apply a weaken effect for 60 seconds that decreases magic melee ranged hit chance by 60 and magic melee and ranged evasion by 60. On wave shot hit applies 3 stacks of this. So if it's 3 stacks, that's gonna be 100 and apply a weaken effect for 60 seconds, right? So 60 seconds weaken on you. That's a long weaken, guys. Holy crap. And that's going to be 180 ranged hit chance decrease and 180 ranged evasion decrease. Okay, Stone Graving Homing Crossbow increases movement speed of self and party members within 60 meters by 8% and increases magic melee and ranged evasion by 160. Yeah, that's if you want to go really, really speedy over the battlegrounds with your party. Just go in and out of combat really, really fast. That's pretty interesting. And Giant Cordy's Ascension Crossbow, guys. And we get to the ones. Sorry in advance if it might take a little longer. Ray of Disaster damage increases by 35%. Yeah, not a lot of people use Ray of Disaster. Inflicts the Corrupted Magic Circle effect on targets. Target number increases to 4 with target expansion. So you can do 4 targets. And then in every target you can do Corrupted Magic Circle effects. That might actually sound interesting. I wonder if you can do the regular Corrupted Magic Circle effect and then place this one if it's 2 different types of dots that you can place on it. That might be actually really, really interesting for Perception good, Wisdom good, Dexterity good, Cooldown speed good. Yeah, this might actually be a wand I use for my Invocator. I'll have to see, like, Devon is probably still better, but I don't have Devon, so... Alright, we got Cold-Blooded Wands changes Ray of Disaster through Prismatic Beam. You can now place 3. They really want to place, make you place stuff on the floor. Okay, you can now place 3 prisms at target locations that last for 6 seconds. Changes mana cost to 250, links Ray of Disaster between the prisms and yourself. Enemies hit take damage equal to 50% of the base damage in additional to existing Ray of Disaster damage and reduces the target's mana by 120. So it's an area of effect that reduces mana. Okay, interesting. So that's definitely something as a healer you want to stay out of. Prisms can be placed again within 6 seconds. When prisms are removed, deal 140% of base damage, but 70% damage to enemies within a 2.5 radius. Also cost Dark Explosion after 1 second, dealing 50% damage that does not remove curse effects. Boost damage by 5% per touch of Despair stack. So you can place prismatic prisms on the floor. Last for 6 seconds. You can be placed again within 6 seconds. So you can replace the prisms and the prisms will explode, dealing damage. Oh, that's an interesting one. Okay. Crystal Blossom Clear Moon Wand changes Ray Clay Salvation specialization weaken removal effect to debuff removal. So you do this one with the bow and you basically have Clay Salvation, you remove all debuffs, you reset it, you use your remove debuffs with your purification, and then because you resetted your Clay Salvation, you can now remove all buffs again. All weakens, all... Holy crap, they're definitely going for a lot of... Like, that's 3 in total. And then you can remove more weakens with your Nature's Blessing. So that's 3 times in short succession that you can actually remove all debuffs from your party. On top of the healing from Clay's purification, Clay Salvation then. That's an interesting... Heavy attack evasion. This one is an evasion. The other one was an endurance bow, right? Interesting. Devotion of Justice Wands. Increase the effect range of Blessed Barrier specialization. Expanded targets by 5 meters. Not interesting, guys. Not at all. If they said Blessed Barrier would give a 5% increase and an increase in range, like increase range and increase in the Blessed Barrier on its own, then it will become... The range for Blessed Barrier is not big, guys. So I'm understanding this, but that on its own is not good enough versus the other one that we saw. Remove all buffs, guys. That is insane. We got Frigid Flower, right? Increases effect there, yeah. And a Frigid Flower also has the Clay Salvation, but this is PvP heavy attack evasion, 410. Okay. Stone Grave Annihilation has a 7.5% chance to apply Touch of Chaos to enemy targets. Touch of Chaos is gonna be another, Fortitude, Wisdom, Healing. 20% healing increase, guys. Endurance, Wisdom, Fortitude, all good stats. And then they're gonna give you a 7.5% of the touch of Chaos to enemy targets. On what? On healing them? Yeah, throwing deep buffs on them. I know, but interesting. And then we got Giant Cordy. I'm not really... Only this one, guys, is really like the Clay Salvation, the Clay Purification is definitely like interesting. Then we get to the Staff, Arctic Roar Staff. Icebound Tomb skill changes to Icebound Spike, dealing 760% of the base damage, plus 48 damage as Icebound damage, and applies Frost, creating an ice spike in a straight line forward, increasing damage taken by 10% for 5 seconds, hits up to 30 meters based on charging time. So it's a skill that charges up. Okay, interesting. Ascended Dagon Staff. Staff fire skill damage increases by 8%. Burning damage increases by 25%. We got Secret Draconic Art Staff. That's going to be reduce the duration of high focus specialization target expansion to 5 seconds, but does not apply a reduced effects. I have no idea what a target expansion for high focus actually is, guys. I use high focus on myself. Target expansion means you're going to use it on other people. Does not apply reduced. So if you apply it to people, it's going to have a reduced effect, but because of this one, it does not. And it's also going to reduce the duration. Reduce the duration, but not the reduction effects. Okay, interesting. Okay, I get it. That's the same one. Yeah, same one. We got the Sign of Justice Staff. Changes Icebound Armor skill to Dead Man's Armor, dealing 80% of the base damage as Icebound damage per second, and apply Frost to nearby foes. Has an 80% chance to apply Terror Pull. Interesting, okay. Increases Redemption Barrier cooldown by 10%, but adds an effect that absorbs 900 mana from nearby foes. Absorbs mana means you're gonna steal mana, right? So a weapon that steals mana. That is interesting. And the Noah Staff of Frozen Flame. We get to the spears. We got the Ascended Pakelo Naru Spear. On damaging a target with a spear skill, increases all CC resist by 32 for 4 seconds. Once per skill, stacks up to 10 times. Yeah, like every skill is gonna once per skill. So every skill is gonna increase it. So it's 100% uptime as long as you can chain in your skills between those 4 seconds of the duration, right? And that's gonna be 320 CC resist that you're gonna get. Okay, interesting. Cold-Blooded Commander's Charging Spear. When your health drops below 20% while using Blood Leech Aura, restores health by 20,000 for 1 time. Each time you remove a recovery effect from an enemy through Starving Shadow, remove 1 health or shield health reduction effect from self. We got the Crimson Eyes Execution Spear. When using a Phoenix Barrage, increases skill damage by 8% per stack of Weaken Burst applied by you. When each hit of Weaken Barrage lands as a critical hit, applies 3 stacks of Weaken Ignite. When Phoenix Barrage hits a target with 10 stacks of Weaken Ignite, deals explosive damage equal to 690% of the base damage, plus 399 damage. That is actually pretty good. Crimson Eyes Executioner, that's probably gonna be the Archboss weapon then. Resolute Justice, because it's Ice again. Resolution of Justice changes Enforcer to Slaughtering Execution when casting the skill, increases all CC chance by 90 per target with an 8-meter radius for up to 6 seconds, up to 5 targets. So basically 5 times 90 is 480 CC chance, 450 CC chance increase, guys, for 6 seconds. within 8 meters. Increases magic melee and ranged accuracy 410 for 6 seconds. Okay. Silver Frost Judgment Spear. We're using Phoenix Barrage. Yeah, is the same. So one actually might be from... Well, it's not from the new Archboss, right? Because if it's from the new Archboss, it would have a fixed level. Noza, Queen, Junipode, Naru. So where are... Yeah, I think one is the Archboss weapon. That is coming in September, I do believe. So that's a little bit away. And then the other one is one that can drop maybe from a dungeon. I have no idea. We'll have to see in game. Phoenix Barrage. Yeah, look at that one. We got the Stone Graving Shattering Spear. Changes Death Knell to Battlefield Frenzy. Increases skill damage boost by 30. And attack speed by 3% for 6 seconds on hit with spear active skills. Stacks up to 3 times. At 3 stacks, applies a 15% cooldown. Applies a 15 cooldown. Yeah, probably 15 seconds cooldown. Battlefield Frenzy, Death Knell. Okay. Yeah, not something I'll probably use. We got the Arctic Roar Resonating Orb. Changes Interstellar Explosion to Tectonic Shift. And consumes only 1 orb at the designated location to trigger a tectonic shift after 1 second. Deals 560% of the base damage plus 120 damage to up to 5 targets within a 5 meter radius. And has an 80% chance to apply Collision Pull. That is an interesting one. So you place an orb, change Interstellar Explosion to Tectonic Shift, and consumes only 1 orb at the designated location. So you're gonna deal a lot of damage. You're basically gonna pull one in. Can you do that over and over? Interstellar Explosion? Probably not. Because it would be nice if you pull them in and then do the explosion. But it seems like you're gonna do the explosion, and then when and has an 80% chance to apply Collision Pull. It deals damage and has an 80% chance to apply Collision Pull. So does it pull before it does damage, or does it both at the same time? One would be better, right? Ascended Primal Brother Score. Upon summoning an orb, generates a 3 meter radius area of thunder after 2 seconds at a random enemy location within 6 meter radius of the summoned orb that deals 420 of the base damage. The Crimson Inner Eye Orb. When an orb effect activates after using Healing Wave, it reactivates Healing Wave 1 time. So that means 3 Healing Waves, because you can reapply Healing Wave really, really fast. Like you can apply it twice. So that means you can apply it 3 times. It is going to be easier to keep your buffs up as a healer though, with this one. Okay, interesting. That is the same one. We got the Stonegrave Annihilation Orb. Boosts Milky Way damage by 10% and grants 1 additional use. And then we've got one more here. Will of Justice Orb. And that is when Resonating Constellation effect is active, increases skill damage resistance by 130 for 9 seconds. And then we got the Giant Cordy one, guys. And then we go into the Gauntlets, the last weapon. Now, as these are new weapons, I have no idea what any of the skills are. So, here it goes. Attacking Defense Swamp when using Eclipse of Blood increases critical damage and heavy attack damage by 16% for 10 seconds. When using Composure, increases critical damage and resistance and heavy attack damage resistance by 16% for 10 seconds. I know that the Gauntlets, from so far as I heard, they basically can go really easily between going from a defensive stance into an aggressive stance, where you do damage or where you are basically a tank. So you can really swap in between them while you're playing, guys. You don't need to swap skills. Your skills gonna have like different things they do depending on what you are doing, I think, something like that. So this skill, when using Eclipse of Blood, increases critical damage and heavy attack damage by 16% for 10 seconds, right? But when you use Composure, you increase the... So you're going to be able to use Eclipse of Blood, or you're going to be able to use Composure. Like, whichever you're going to be using, it depends on what you do, that it's going to be something different. When using Evaporation, additionally decreases damage taken by 20%, and additionally decreases movement speed by 25%. Deal additional fixed damage equal to 400% of the base damage to targets within the area over 0.5 seconds. And ranged Leviathan's Gauntlets. Yeah, I have no idea. Decreases movement speed, guys. So that sounds really PvP-ish. The Judgment of the Crimson Snow Gauntlets on each critical hit or heavy attack hit increases block chance by 1.6% for 3 seconds, stacks up to 10 times. Now, I do know that there are skills, apparently, or the gauntlet works. The more block chance you have, the higher your damage is gonna be. I know that sounds weird, but that's like one of the mechanics behind the actual gauntlets. The higher your block chances, the more damage you will do. So this also means every time you do a critical hit or a heavy attack hit, you increase your block chance, but you also increase your damage, right? So this goes by 1.6%, so that's going to be 16%, meaning 60% more increased damage, as I can understand it, guys. Every critical hit of every heavy attack. So that's actually like really, and it has PvP melee heavy attack chance, so you kind of see where they're going with this one, right? That's pretty cool. It's gonna be overpowered, guys. I'm afraid it's gonna be like Orb. It's gonna be really overpowered at start. Increases offhand weapon damage. So yeah, again, the gauntlets work kind of like the crossbows and the daggers. There's an offhand weapon chance because you apply, you have two gloves on, right? So increases offhand weapon damage by 90. Snowfield on each critical hit. That is the same. And then we got the Stone Grave Shattering ones, 5180. Increases main weapon damage by 90. Okay. Ascended Delunoa. That's going to be fixed at 70. But we'll look into this because, well, perks. On Chain Strike, Uppercut hit summons a Vortex in 3 meter radius area that deals 100%, 20% of the base damage per second for 3 seconds. On Bloodstorm, Blood Talon uses summons a Vortex that deals 240% of the base damage per 3 seconds in a 5 meter radius and has an 80% chance to apply Collision Airborne for 1.5 seconds to push in the air, guys. To damage targets, increasing damage against monsters by 160%. Ascended Queen Belanoa on Explosive Flurry or Bloodstone Dance hit applies Collision Pull to all targets within 5 meter radius. This effect ignores the target's evasion. That is an interesting one. Delanoa's Ice Grabs on Chain Strike Uppercut. The weapon also works on heavy on combos, guys. So you're going to be using like one skill into the other and building up combos. On Chain Strike Uppercut hit, summons a Vortex in 3 meters radius area that deals 80% of the base damage per second for 3 seconds. On Bloodstorm, Blood Talon use, yeah, that's the same one we already read. Explosive Fury, Bloodstone Dance hit, apply Collision Pull. And then the Abyss ones, yeah, we don't need to go further into that one. And that is all the new weapons, guys. On to the accessories. Yeah, I'm gonna not go over all of the names, guys. So 5180 Magic Defense as a stats. Magic Defense 515. Yeah, they all have Magic Defense as a base stat on there. So Perception Strength, hits, heavy attack chance, CC resist. Wisdom Strength, heavy attack evasion, CC resist. Yeah, 2 with the CC resist already. 3 with CC resist. So Dexterity, Wisdom, CC resist. Magic, heavy attack chance, heavy attack damage. Fortitude, collision resist, CC resist, skill damage resist, PvP endurance. Yeah, it's that's a lot of resist, guys. Fortitude, strength, max out, CC resist, endurance. Dexterity, strength, evasion, CC resist, heavy attack damage resistance, Necklace of the Morning Mist, yeah. Dexterity, wisdom, CC resist, magic, heavy attack chance, cooldown speed. This is the only PvP one that I see, and it still has CC resistance on it. And then we got the Sunken Twilight, Dexterity, Wisdom, CC resist, PvP, magic, heavy attack chance, heavy attack damage. For the bracelets, we're getting Dexterity, Strength, Evasion, CC resist, cooldown speed. Yeah, a lot of CC. Like every item here has CC resist, guys. Heavy attack chance, critical hit chance, Dexterity, Perception, CC resist. Definitely already an interesting one. Dexterity, Perception, CC, ranged critical hits, bonus damage. That's definitely good for like daggers, crossbows. Wisdom, Strength, CC, cooldown speed, skill healing over time. Okay, interesting. 15% though is high. That is high. We got Oath Breakers of the Forgotten. Fortitude, Strength, Collision Resist, CC Resist, Endurance. Yeah, I'm probably gonna build like Collision Resist again. CC Resist is gonna be off the charts for everybody. And then we got Rune Manacles. Dexterity, Wisdom, hit chance, CC, heavy attack damage. Okay, interesting. Sunken Twilight Bracers, Dexterity, Perception, CC, PvP, range critical hit, bonus damage. And then we got the Bangles. That is the one we have right now. For the rings, Fortitude, Strength, CC, Resist, Endurance, Skill Healing over time. Yeah, I'm gonna need to look out. I think they're going like healing with Endurance again. Like high endurance healing. Perception, Dexterity, hit chance, critical hit chance, CC resist. Yeah, CC resist is gonna be insane. Dexterity, Wisdom, CC resist, melee, heavy attack chance, heavy attack damage. Okay. Fortitude, Strength, CC, Endurance, critical damage resist. Dexterity, Wisdom, Perception, CC resist, cooldown speeds. That's an interesting one to look at. Wisdom, Perception, heavy attack chance, critical hit chance, CC resist. Yeah, definitely for DPS specs. For the FPS sets. And then we got Ring of Eternal Oath. Dexterity, Perception, heavy attack evasion, CC resist, attack speeds. Ooh. Evasion and attack speed on the same one. Higher. Yeah, that's Dexterity, Wisdom, CC, attack speed, cooldown speed. That is gonna be the second ring that I want to look for. Wisdom, Perception, hits. Heavy attack chance. Fortitude, Perception, shield health, ring, cooldown speeds. Okay, interesting. And then Dexterity, Perception, critical hit, CC, resist, critical damage, Fortitude, Wisdom, damage reduction, heavy attack, evasion. Yeah, a lot of rings, guys. Dexterity, Wisdom, CC, resist, PvP, melee, heavy attack chance, heavy attack damage. And Fortitude, Strength, CC, resist, PvP, endurance. And then we got Ancestral Bond, one that we have now. For the earrings, Fortitude, Strength, CC resist. I'm not gonna say the CC resist anymore, guys. It's on everything. Endurance, side damage reduction. Fortitude, Perception, healing on the actual earrings. And then front endurance. Fortitude, Strength, CC resist, side damage reduction, and front damage reduction. Dexterity, Wisdom, side hit, critical hit. It is regular critical hit, it's not side critical hit. Dexterity, Wisdom, hit chance, side heavy attack chance. Dexterity, Strength, side evasion, Fortitude, Perception, healing. Yeah, a lot of healing increase, guys. Like, that is insane. PvP, endurance, Perception, hit chance, that's a level 51. For the belts, we have Belt of the Clutching Fear. That's 5180. Okay, pretty cool. Fortitude, Strength, heavy attack, evasion, CC resist, skill damage resists. Breaking Dawn belts. We already have these. Because I have Belt of the Clutching Fear. So the belts, Brooch of Awareness. Does the brooch not? Yeah, the brooches did not scale. I thought the belts did scale. Fortitude, Strength, heavy attack, evasion, skill damage resists. Breaking Down, Fortitude, Strength, damage reduction, heavy attack, evasion. Dexterity, Strength, evasion, heavy attack, damage resists. Dexterity, Perception, hit chance, critical hit chance. We got Dexterity, Wisdom, heavy attack chance, CC resists, cooldown speeds. Wisdom, Strength, shield health on the belt. Skill damage resists. I might actually clicked by accident on this one. Fortitude, Strength, damage reduction, PvP, heavy attack, evasion. And we got Belt of the Claiming trophies. And yeah, like I said, the brooches will not get an upgrade, guys, because they're pretty new to the game. Developers don't want to upgrade them yet. But that is basically all of the gear that is going to be implemented in the game. Now, there is going to be something specific, and I do believe that is in your armor. You should now be able to implement buffs, guys. But only in your heroic. So if you have a heroic bracelet, you're going to have an ability to add a perk to it. But I don't see it in here, so we might actually have to look into that one in game. But yeah, there we go, guys. All of the gear, all of the skills are gonna get like more. You're gonna get more skill points. There's gonna be more mastery that you're gonna need to work at. Like, I'm gonna have a lot of work here in Questlog to get my accounts back up. And there we go, guys. It's a long list, and it's gonna take me a while before I actually get my character like back into shape. And oh, it's always a good time of year when new gear arrives, right? It's so much fun. So yeah, Have fun, guys, making up all of those compositions. All of the I'll soon enough see videos probably on what is going to be best for range damage. I'm gonna try to make some builds that might work like I usually do. I make like for DPS, I make like one build, and I can show you right now. I basically make one build that works with everything. And for me right now, that was the Gauntless Visage. I should actually have used the hands because the hands were better, and I just used Blood Hunter set. And I can use this one with Orb Crossbow. It's exactly the same setup, guys. The only thing that changes is actually my weapons, right? So the heads, everything, it changes. The runes, they change depending on what weapon I use, right? But you can see here that the stats that I get in every one of my sets, Invocator, like they're nicely divided, right? And yeah, some of my weapons are just not upgraded yet. But again, if I would go to AoE melee... Yeah, I'm using my Black Anvil. I should actually, I think my other sword is in... Yeah, my other sword is even in there. But yeah, with the other sword, I should Dexterity 90, Wisdom 90, Perception 90, like Strength 90, like all aboard, right? So it is really, really nice, really, really easy. And then yeah, Shield PvP, PvP healing, that's definitely different. But for my damage builds, I basically go with the same setup. The only thing I change is, and I still get high crit, high heavy attack chance. Like they all work. I don't need min-max builds for everything. So I can do... I'm not gonna be doing the best amount of damage, but I'm still gonna do pretty decent amount of damage, and it's kind of budgety, right? Anyway, I'm gonna wrap up this episode here, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more of my quest progression or my Let's Play, or any video I might be making of Throne and Liberty in the next couple days, guys, when the update actually hits, just hit that subscribe button. It would always help out a lot. I do hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.